Imagine city hopping your way alphabetically around the world from A to Z. It would start off easily enough, Amsterdam, Bangkok, Cairo, but when you got to X, the only choice would be Xian, where Imperial China crystallised and where I've just had the good fortune to touch down. The name Xian translates as Western Peace, and it's at the eastern end of the Gobi Desert, right in the middle of the People's Republic and central to the nation's story as the birthplace of China, starting with Emperor Qin and the dynasties that ruled for the next 2 millennia. I'm staying at the Xian Tang Dynasty Art Garden Hotel. Long name, long hotel. It claims to be the first Tang-style hotel in China. You step out of the city and into a place of calm and beauty, with the promise of good sleep and the prospect of good service. Here's where you have your breakfast. It's even got a motto, the breakfast room: no business, only entertainment, and it serves the best cappuccino in Xi'an. I've checked. My room is 8503. Here's 8506. Next one, 8505. There is no 8504. That is because 4 is considered an unlucky number. Well, the surprises continue in the room. Have a look in the bathroom. More like a barrel than a bath. And you have facilities such as a desktop computer. Very nice. Bit last millennium. Never seen tomatoes in a fruit bowl before. An ashtray plus matches. That's been a while. And finally, the pot noodle. Maybe they expect quite a lot of students to stay here, but at £70 a night, which is what I'm paying, I'd be surprised. If £20 a night for your own room is more your style, then tucked in just beside the south gate is the official youth hostel. Come and have a look at this one. Clean, cheap, comfortable. No, not me, this place. And as well as that, you're going to meet a United Nations of other travellers. Hello. And at the end of this accommodation rainbow, the pot of gold is the Traveller Cafe, where you can't get pot noodle, but you can get beer, delicious fresh food, free internet, and it has the only wood-fired pizza oven of any youth hostel on the planet. The hostel is right next door to the city's south gate, a monumental approach for almost 700 years. Great Wall? Well, obviously not the Great Wall, but the centre of Xi'an is wrapped by a 14th century Ming Dynasty wall, which has the great advantage of being flat enough to allow you to cycle right around it. A complete circuit of the walls takes a couple of hours and helps you appreciate the scale of the city. By the end though, you might need some personal maintenance. Massage parlour, in a good way. I am in the very good hands of Mr. Zhang. Mr. Zhang is blind. It is said in China that if you lose one sense, then your other senses become sharper. Oh, wow. That was a very high pressure way to relieve all the pressures of life. Thank you very much, Mr. Xian. So, half an hour, and that costs about £8, and you feel like a new man, if you see what I mean. Well, after my back's been massaged, time to come somewhere where my lunch is massaged. This place is called Noodles, Noodles, Noodles. I wonder what's on the menu. To accompany your noodles, you pour yourself, well, it's kind of soup if you like. It's actually the water that the noodles are cooked in. Acquired taste. This is the speciality here. It's called 6-in-1, and the 6 are meat, egg and tomato, fried little quail's egg there, some fried tofu, some beans and some vegetables. And what you have to do is mix them all around so that all the noodles get nicely covered in sauce. And then you just eat it all. This, by the way, is the small version. Xian is one place where a wild goose chase is not an exercise in futility. The Great Wild Goose Pagoda was built in the 7th century as a place to store the Buddhist sutras or holy scripts when they were brought from India. 248 steps, 7 stories. There used to be 10, but the top 3 came off in one of Xian's many earthquakes and were never replaced. And the pagoda is aligned precisely with the compass points we've used north, east, south and west, no matter how poor the weather. This region of China is the home of Kung Fu, and Vashek has kindly offered to show me some new tricks. What do you mean, old dog?
You go a little bit like this, and if you can, then just go down in your hips. Yes. If possible, 90 degrees in this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, very nice.
One punch forward.
Very nice. Big stick, big hand up, and to the left. Big hand down, spin very slowly.
Then it was time for the traditional spinning of the shushwo, or stone padlock. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but tremendous fun. I think it's going to be a while before I'm a master of martial arts, but it is actually a great feeling. Xian is the start of the world's first great intercontinental highway. The Silk Road began here and ran for thousands of miles across Asia to Damascus and into Europe, Constantinople and Rome. Of course, that meant that many cultures came to Xian, including a big Islamic community. And today, the Great Mosque is at the heart of the Muslim quarter at the very centre of Xian. Now, as you've probably worked out, in Xian you're never more than 10 yards from the next eating opportunity. But see if you can hang on to your appetite long enough to get here to...
德发肠.
Thank you for these fantastic dumplings. Think of them as turbocharged ravioli. Xian is more than just the start of the Silk Road, it's also the gateway to one of China's great treasures, best appreciated with a pause at the nearby Huaqin Hot Springs. You get pretty footsore after all that excitement in Xian, and so that's why you need to come an hour outside the city to the Huaqin Spa. It's where the Empress used to come in imperial times when the city got too much for her, and you can just soothe away the cares of the day and get ready for your next great adventure. At the time when the legions of the Roman Empire were spreading across Europe and the Mediterranean, Emperor Qin was creating an army of his own, comprising more than 8,000 soldiers and 500 horses. The difference is, they were all created from clay to form a silent guard for his mausoleum. Costs about £15 to get in. This is the ticket you get. Bit of a collector's item. I'm a bit anxious right now. Anticipation is one of the most intense pleasures of travel, but sometimes you can build up your expectations too much. I've heard so much about the crowning glory of Xian and its surroundings that it may not live up to all the hype. I guess I've become a bit of a terracotta warrior. However high your expectations, the first sight that you get of the terracotta warriors is going to astonish you. A couple of things which I have to try to keep hold of. The first is that none of these faces are the same. The second, they were never ever supposed to be seen by human eyes. Ramsey Kerr, director of the Dragon Trip, guides tours to the terracotta warriors.
It was one of the earliest examples of a real production chain, where they had various different molds. They had about 10 different molds for faces and other different molds for the bodies, and they'd construct them off-site in factory-like environments and then bring them here and put them into the formations, the battle formations that they're in here.
It's thought there could be many more figures guarding the tomb of the emperor, which is more than a mile away. Even at the present site, archaeologists estimate that 700,000 people died creating the ultimate memorial to one man. And afterwards you can pay £1 and take your place in the formation. China in your hands. Meanwhile, back in Xian, armies of 21st century road warriors are doing battle with the evening rush hour. For those of us lucky enough to be travellers, not commuters, the start of the Silk Road is a splendid place to end a journey to China's heart and soul. The next one isn't 8504 because 4 is considered an unlucky number. Never been to a hotel before. I don't know how doors work.